is Business Rockstars.
Hi everybody, I'm Pat O'Brien. Welcome to Business Rockstars. We connect a worldwide community of entrepreneurs on radio, television, and on the internet. We have a business rock star with us today, one of my longest best friends, Forbes Riley. Hi Forbes, how are you?
I adore you. Hello, Pat. Nice to see you.
We've known each other forever, and the answer is no, in case you're thinking.
Yeah.
But
we are close.
But we are very close. And Forbes, great to see you. Always got something going on.
You know what? It's funny because I was talking about how I started in this industry. I started out as an actress in Hollywood and a TV host, everything from the X Games to my own talk show. And how there's still people in that industry just struggling and trying to do that.
Right.
And about 20 years ago, I took the entrepreneurial route. I ended up on Home Shopping. And I started selling fitness
When
products.
everybody laughed at Home Shopping, right?
They totally
They
laughed
didn't
at me.
laugh, but I mean, like,
No. They absolutely said, I actually had a quote-unquote girlfriend say, you know what, you're selling crap on television. I'm like, yeah, but I've got like $20,000 in my pocket from yesterday. What are you doing? Oh, you're a waitress.
right.
And the funny thing is, fast forward 20 years, and now to get on Home Shopping, on whatever network, you have to be a brand, you have to be a superstar. I am tripping over J-Lo and Melissa McCarthy and Oprah and all of these people who now understand what a viable platform and how business has changed.
What did you start on
Well, I started on infomercials. The most famous one, remember the LaLanne juicer?
I love Jack. Jack was always checking my arms, Jack.
That's what he would do.
Yeah.
He would, he simply said, if man made it, don't eat it. We introduced the juicer in 2002. This country didn't even know what juicing was.
Right.
Pat, we sold $1 billion worth of juicers. Oh, wait a second. We were on the air on infomercials 800 times a week in 80 countries for 8 years. That was a revolution. That showed me that, oh my gosh, you can do that through other things like television, and then the internet hit, and sales. I've done 144 infomercials.
Oh my God.
So whether it's weight loss or skincare, there's so many avenues that you can go. And nowadays, there's no more infomercials on television. In fact, I don't know, is television a dying market for you?
It's not a dying market, but it's an evolving market. And when I'm on your show, you can ask me the questions.
There you go. No, but I love Well, but you know, it's so helpful because what you did with your career was something that I wanted to do. I was really out there to be a Maria Menounos and host.
Right.
And sometimes when the universe closes one door, they open something else.
Well, I've been very grateful and very blessed. I've had a great career. You probably know Forbes from Spin Gym, right?
Well, that is the thing that I did. So I finally said, you know what, I'd like to take something into my own hands. I launched a network many years ago called the Cable Health Club with Body by Jake.
Mm-hmm.
On that, I sold every fitness product. And I said, and I had a resistance band. Get this, slip off my foot and shatter my nose. I said, I don't like resistance bands. And so I came across this. It was being sold as kind of a 2,000-year-old Chinese toy. You see my arm there? See what's firing?
Right, I can hear
this
it too.
This is the sexiest, unbelievable arm toning product in the planet, and it sits on my desk.
And you can do it at your desk, right?
That's the whole idea. No, here, just put it in your thumbs, and all you do is keep it spinning. Now, what you'll notice is it's burning up. You'll get warm. Yeah, you never want to let it sag.
Right.
So you take this. You're going to spin it up. You may have to uncross your legs because it actually goes through your entire body. Go, come on, go.
Okay.
Now, normally on
for
HSN,
your radio listeners, by the way, for 3 small payments, send them right to me, Pat O'Brien.
Well, I'll tell you what, for your radio listeners, what you just did, if they go to spingym.com,
right,
they can see that these pieces of metal actually activate every muscle in your body. So if you're somebody who sits,
I can actually feel it up here.
Thank you. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
In your shoulders, in your chest, in your core.
Yeah.
So I create a revolution. I've got people in wheelchairs getting cardio. I've got people sitting at their offices not getting fatter but getting fitter. That's been the dream. I also took the word diet and I redefined it. I don't know, what does diet mean to you?
Nothing.
Look
at me.
Because you're so trim and gorgeous. I would say most people, diet means deprivation, starvation. I took diet, put it on its side, D-I-E-T, decisions I eat today.
I think most people, Forbes Riley is our guest, I think most people think of diet as punishment.
Right.
Like, I can't eat that, but I want to eat that.
Right.
So you got to come up with something that's a little glamorous, right? When you say, diet's a 4-letter word. It actually is a 4-letter word.
Yes, it is not as much fun as the other 4-letter words.
No.
But I'll tell you what it is. It is, and I even created a couple
we're
of books.
thinking about love, by the way, not...
Thank you for saying that. You're so handsome. If you're on the radio, you're missing how handsome my host is today. You are. You're this debonair, very put together
gentleman. How can we sell this? Go ahead. Come on, you were saying?
Well, the point is, I'm tired of seeing women suffer. I grew up heavy my whole life. My mom was 260 pounds and she was miserable. And she didn't play with me. And I've got 2 13-year-old twins who I've been going to the beach with and wearing bikinis and riding bicycles with. I get so sad when I see people missing out on their life because they can't figure out the food thing. The food and exercise. They have to go to a gym or they have to be on it. No, no, no. You subscribe to Forbes Riley as a lifestyle, as a plan. Your life will change. Your body will change. I turned 56 and I wear a size 4.
How do you stay ahead of the game as an entrepreneur?
That's a great question. You have to be aware of what's going on. One, keep younger friends. You know, people say that you're the sum of the 5 people that you're closest
Exactly,
to.
yeah.
Well, 2 of mine have been 13. You know, I raised them from the time they were 0. So for the last 13 years, being an older mom keeps you fresh. And now that they're of age, they're happy to tell me about what's going on, whether it's, you know, the latest in Snapchat or social media or whatever it is, toy-wise, that I'm not connected to. But I've always surrounded myself with progressive, amazing thinkers. And that's,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, not everybody has that chance. So how do you find those
Oh,
people?
no, let me say something. Chance is not something that happens to you. It's something that you create.
All right, okay.
Same thing like anything that happens to you bad-wise, it's how you react to it. So we talk about that you're the sum of the obstacles you overcome. That's how I am who I am. And every great speaker, because I've been on the speaker tour now for the last couple of years, they talk about overcoming something massive. Those are the people that are challenging and exciting to listen to. And so all of a sudden, when you surround yourself with people who have all overcome the obstacles of life, whether it's being broke or a bad marriage or physical, I mean, we've got gentlemen out there who have no arms and no legs. How do they survive? The other thing, too, is about having gratitude. When you are just grateful every single day and you put yourself out there to help other people, things come to you. I'm a huge fan of this law of attraction. I have a whole philosophy on dream it, believe it, and achieve it. I don't think most people dream big enough. I think they were brought up in a way that says, no, you can't do that, or somebody put you down and you believe that for so long. I literally, Pat, it's like I've taken a key to people's locks and said, I'm going to tell you that you're enough. I'm going to give you permission to be extraordinary. And the more people I do that to, it's like the tide rising and all the boats come up.
I think people don't realize the power of gratitude, too. I mean, if you make a gratitude list, and don't always put down my kids and my health. I mean, those things are obvious.
Right.
But put down things like fresh air, clean water.
Yes.
And then when you look at it the next day, how important is a pitch to an entrepreneur?
I think pitch is everything. I don't care what kind of product that you've got. If you don't know how to pitch or articulate it, you will go nowhere. And so I've actually written books and devoted a lot of my time to coaching people how to pitch their idea. People will bring me a product and they'll just continue to talk. A pitch, to me, and the definition is, it's a one-sided conversation created to get a yes. So, and actually, you know where it starts? When somebody at a party asks you, what do you do? Most people tell them, they say, I'm a vet. That's kind of boring. But what if you said, when somebody asks you what you do, saying, you know what, I grew up loving animals and I've made it my passion to take care of them. I want to know that guy.
They got your attention.
That's a pitch. See, most people don't even realize they can take that moment. When people ask me, what do you do? I could tell them all things. I'm a television host, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur. I simply tell them, I created the greatest fitness product on the planet. They say, what is it? And now we're having a conversation.
Yeah, nice.
Creating rapport with people. The other thing, too, that a pitch is really listening. Do you have permission? And now, by the way, never sound like you're pitching. Remember, I come from infomercials. It's not, hey, I got something for you. I want to enroll you. I want you to come on my team. I want you to give me your business card. I want to create a relationship.
Yeah, Jack LaLanne used to do that.
Didn't he, though?
Yeah, everything he used to say to me, Pat, you know what I did last week? What? I had a rope in my mouth and I was pulling a boat and swimming. You got to come out, no, Jack, you got to come out and do it with me.
Right.
I did a show called How'd They Do That?
Right.
And we had to pitch at the Les Boone Invest. And we took a bottle of peach brandy.
Right.
Pretend this is peach brandy with the peach inside it. Here was a pitch. How'd they do that?
Oh, I love that. That's great.
He went 10 episodes.
By the way, simplicity of the pitch and understanding when to stop talking. People, sometimes they'll get a yes and they'll keep pitching.
Right.
And you'll talk your way out of something.
Well, that's the other thing. When do you know that you're right as an entrepreneur?
Oh, let me tell you something.
You can't wait for the research.
You don't need to know that you're right. You just need to believe in it. Who would you have ever bought the Chia Pet? Who knew? Or the Snuggie? Those things they didn't necessarily need to be right. So you need to have a passion and a belief. And when you go with that, I remember Jack just being the most passionate person.
Jack LaLanne.
A lot of the ideas that we hear are people who've committed their life to it. And then again, here's another thing. Social proof. If you really have an idea and you want to see if it's any good, take it to social media, shoot a little video, try a Kickstarter where people invest in it. There's so many there's so many opportunities now that never existed before. Please don't come to me, because I coach and train people, and say you don't have money. It's as easy as putting a video on a Kickstarter. You don't have connections? Get out there and start meeting people. You literally you can network. It's so easy, and I think people like to give up too soon.
I think that's the problem. Or they think, this could never be me. And I think that's what you're here for. One of the reasons is to empower people to say, yes, you can be me.
Let me tell you something. I come from no money. I was an ugly little girl. I had a broken nose and frizzy hair and braces for 8 years. And when I hit high school, my dad slipped and he put his hand in a printing press and had spent 3 years in the hospital. He had 15 operations. We were completely broke. I was kind of ugly and nerdy. I could have become nothing. But I stood there and I had a dream, and I said, you know what? I'm going to start to cry, actually. I said, you have to have a great why. And back then, my why was I wanted to prove to my dad that I was worthwhile, because he was so amazing. And so I stood there and said, I'm going to make something of myself. I said, how do you be pretty? And I did the research, and how do you do your hair and do your clothes? And then I found people to teach me that. And how do you do everything? There's someone out there to teach you these things. And it's funny, I'm very emotional, because
that's good.
I get so sad when people don't think that they can do it. One of my dreams right now is to create a nationwide tour called the I Am Enough Tour, where I literally speak in front of massive amounts of people and just let them know that they can do it. It's never the resources, it's not your time or your money. Billionaires have no more time than you and I have. They have resourcefulness. They have a deep down drive. And if I can empower you to do that, you can have everything you want.
You're watching Business Rockstars, learning life lessons today from Forbes Riley. We connect a worldwide community of entrepreneurs and just fine people on radio, TV, and online. I'm Pat O'Brien. You know, how good does it make you feel when someone comes up and says, oh, thank you so much, and actually you can tell they mean it?
Do you know, Pat, I live for that. I remember the first time when Facebook came out, I didn't realize that I was impacting anybody's life. And you get that little Facebook message and it said, Forbes, you've inspired me. There's a woman named Donna. I inspired her to lose 200 pounds. I've got a guy, Perry. Not only has he lost weight, but he created businesses. I didn't know I could do that. I will tell you, at this point in my life, I live for that. I live for the moment where somebody says, you made a huge impact on my business. My dad was an inventor, and he never had got any of his inventions out to the world. And he said to me one day, kiddo, how do I do this? I said, I don't know, Dad. I'm 8 years old, sitting in his garage. And I devoted my life to this, taking people's dreams and getting them out to the world so they don't die before they can get that.
Right.
The first time I ever saw something that I created on television, on a home shop, it was like, that's my baby, that's my child. It is such a phenomenal feeling. And so, yeah, I'm touring around the country, I'm speaking, I'm on the internet, and I get to be on shows like this with you and talk about something that matters.
Where are you going to be 5 years from now?
Oh my gosh. Exactly where I am.
What are you going to be involved in? Because it's changing, you know, exponentially now.
Here's what I envision. If you want to get really honest, women don't have a role model. And I believe at this age and all that I've gone through, that if I'm willing to stand there and help other women get to their full potential, and it's not only women, but women seem to be the ones that we're still fighting. You know, it's actually kind of exciting that we have a female candidate, and whether you like her or not, what a huge historical moment.
Yeah.
And we're finally going to get to stand there and be enough. You know, Mary Kay, that business is still here long after she's gone. It's $1 billion business. Oprah made her mark. Martha Stewart made her mark. Forbes Riley would like to be right there, being that hero, that inspiration.
I was at a party one time and spilled something on my pants, and Martha Stewart dragged me into the kitchen and rubbed the spot off, and I always thought, it's the greatest thing ever. Martha Stewart's actually cleaning up my pants. I mean, it's some of the stuff that we do when that happens. Do you hire a lot of people? Do you have a lot of people around you?
I do. I actually have a fun hiring process. I'm about community. So when you work with me, you have got to understand that you get to eat right and exercise. I know that's crazy. And if you're a mom, we make places for your kids, because I always took my babies with me. In fact, my daughter is in the studio right here, right now. She's 13 years old, and she gets to watch and see how you do this, because I'd like her, that's the legacy. In 5 years, my kids will be in college. Will they, make a difference in the world? So you hire people, you train them, you give them words of wisdom, and the only thing that I do wrong sometimes is that I inspire the people that I hire so much that they leave and go do something else.
Well, I mean, and that's a good point. I mean, do you want to be the way you are, which is great, not everybody's like you, or do you want to be part of the gang?
Oh, when you reach your potential, it's funny. I heard Cher say many, many years ago that if everyone was a rock star singer, there'd be nobody taking tolls or working in a bank. It is an entire puzzle. I have people who love their IT, who love their graphics, who never want to get in front of the camera. I also have people in my life who've been there for 25 years. We're on a mission here. If we can touch, 10 million people and make their life better, who else is doing that?
Right.
Most people get into business to have a product. I'm getting into business to make a difference.
My favorite pitch was Shep Gordon, the great producer.
Yeah.
That brought up a lot of superstars. And he would say to each one of them when he took them on, agent, he said, if I'm successful at my job, you're going to be dead. And that was attractive to these guys back in the 60s,
Right.
He said, if I'm good at what I do, you'll be dead.
That's very funny.
with social media and, we're talking about television, kind of stepping aside a little bit here. Where is it all going?
Wow.
As an entrepreneur.
First
what are
of
the
all,
tools?
One of the things that's creepy is that you can now go onto Facebook. See, in the old days, you put a television commercial out and you had no idea who you were targeting. Then infomercials came along and put a 1-800 number, so you could at least see how many people were responding when you put an ad out. Now on Facebook, with Facebook, and it's more specific to them, I can find a woman who's 22 years old in North Dakota who likes to crochet, and I can market right to her and her friends. So now it is limitless. You can do your own PR.
Go right there.
You really can, and we have all that information. That's what the internet's done, which, by the way, is going to impact all of us because we get a lot of targeted marketing. Nobody's marketing to me to go fishing or hiking, but I get ads about new clothes and shoes and kid things, and they know everything about you. So it is the most amazing time to take your life in your own hands, say, I'm going to build my dream and be your own entrepreneur.
God, when I talk to you, I just want to go, let's go now!
Good. That's what I want.
Well, how do you deal with criticism, especially on the internet? The comments can be so, no matter who you are, so awful.
Okay, so I'm a little girl in the schoolyard, and sometimes I take it personally, and I so want to just write people back.
Can't take things personally.
I know, and I try very hard not to. So I'm always very gracious. And I feel sad for people who criticize other people. That's really my first emotion, going, that's too bad that A, your mom didn't teach you enough to be polite, and that's really my thought.
Right.
And then I go, we just put out positive things. You never need to tear somebody down, and that, it's a bullying schoolyard kind of thing. So, but every once in a while I'll read something and I'll go, they just don't know me.
Yeah, I always write back. They'll write stupid things,
You write back?
The one that gets them is, I'm sorry, we're going to miss you at the Mensa picnic this year.
I try not to antagonize people.
That usually stops them. Forbes Riley, I love you.
Oh.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh,
nice to meet your daughter.
You guys in the radio are not going to see this, but I'm going to actually kind of scoot over here and give you a big hug. You know what? There's something about longevity. There's a lot of young people who look at us and go, wow, you guys are old. And there's something about still being here and still going that makes us worthwhile to listen to and follow. So thank you.
That's what I want to hear. You are watching Business Rockstars. I'm Pat O'Brien. Follow us anywhere. We connect a worldwide community of entrepreneurs, online, radio, and television. We'll see you next time.